Hello, everybody. Welcome to the last episode of the Ecclesia walkthrough, where I'm going to be explaining one of the most important patches that's included within this, which is something like either dimensional fissure or something that is like the granular case study that we have here. Now, what this is designed for is not really to play stuff off of, it's more so for collecting more samples to be able to import back into the granular engine. And what I love about this is that it gives you so much variety that essentially builds you a huge instrument collection like in minutes. And the more that you do this and the more that you create samples that have variation in them and that are different, and you again run them through the processing, the more that it's going to create different various, sounds for you. So for example, if I just hit a C on this, you can see that all this stuff is randomized. You can see that we're getting slightly different sounds each time. Now, the timbre quality might not be super diverse, but I'll show you a little trick in how to get more diversity from that. But one quick tip that you can do in order to do that is to have a bunch of things that are recorded in C, a bunch of notes like this, and then just use rolling sampler or bounce this out to get a few different variations. So I'm not going to do all of this because it's going to take forever, but if I were to just hit J, check this out. Cool. So now we can listen to this. So that one's kind of samey. That one's kind of samey, but we got these different versions, and now we can save this as, into a folder or keep going with this and start to bounce out more stuff and quickly create a collection, which is, again, really cool. Now, with that being said, there's a couple of different workflows that we can do in order to get this. And if you're wondering how this was set up in the first place, go watch the third video of this, the last one, because this is pretty much the way that this patch is designed in order to give us that variation, quote unquote. With that being said, we can kind of utilize this to give ourselves a lot of different variation just from changing these parameters up here. And as you can see, the waveform is continuously morphing, not just because of this, but because of the countless different wavetable variations and cycles that we have. So instead of this being a wavetable of 256 frames, this is essentially multiplied by 4, which would be like what, 1028 or something like that. Yeah, I think so. 1024. I don't know. I don't remember. It's something like that. But in any case, you can see that there's a ton of variation with this. And then the other selection that I have here are these different, lanes that have different effect processing through them. And so from changing that and having that randomized, the name of the game isn't to record, your next sequence, although you could, if I play something every time I hit a key, it's going to switch it up and I'm going to get something unique. So yeah, absolutely. You could do something like that and you just record that out and then throw that into your granular synth or whatever. But what I find to be more efficient is either doing it this way, or the way that you can get more variation out of this is to do some of this stuff by hand. So for example, if I set this to solo and I set this to record here, so turn that off, set that here, do that. Then hold on, let me make sure this is going to do what I need it to. There we go. So we hit record. Change the wavetable. Then we can go in here, change this. And so now if we look at all of these, we've got all of these different sounds that are from simple to, complex and so forth. And this is a concept, by the way, but now that we have that, we can go right click. If you have Bitwig, go slice and place, have this set by beat grid on bars. And then there we go. We've kind of gotten the same thing that took a little bit more time, but if we apply a fade to this, kind of like so, and then we hit Command B, voila, we've got all these different sounds that we can go to the next step with, which is move this over to the side. I've got OBS over in the background. I can go here and go untitled folder. We can call this granular samples in C. What is today? February 10th. It's late at night. Corey's asleep. But we can move this over here and go like this and go files, go to all this stuff here and drag it in just like that. You can label these or whatever. And then what's really cool is we can open this back up, kind of like so. Go into Faceplant, go into this, go add location, and then we go granular samples in C. And now look, we've got even more stuff to mess with. And it just keeps on feeding back into itself and feeding back into itself. And then what's really cool is, like, as neat as all this stuff is, where this really comes alive is, just picking one, going into a granular synth, kind of like so. We go into the, where did I just do that? User wavetables, granular samples in C. Yeah, so this one. And now we can kind of maybe grab a shaper table, turn the transient shaper on, turn the reverb on, yeet, maybe a convolution or something like that. Just doing different, trying something different. And then maybe even a delay, because why not? Everybody loves delays. And now we've got some spacey sounds that we can cycle through in order to kind of give ourselves a new spark of different playable instruments. This is soloed. Sorry about that. Oh yeah. Let's try this. Sorry. I don't know about you, but there was something musical in that I thought was pretty cool. And so, you know, this is one of the best ways to start trying to fish for stuff because you get really cool things. And then if you have something like rolling sampler, you kind of just pull that out and then you throw beam on this and make more stuff and more stuff and more stuff. And then there you go. It's all super cool and fine and dandy. So as you can see, even though this patch in essence seems kind of useless with the case study or whatever, you can do this on just about anything, but this really opens up some doors to start finding different sonic qualities if you're willing to put a little bit of time in. And I've given you a head start on how to do that in multiple ways. This pack is really sent on functionality, but I also didn't really want to take away from the exploration and all that inspired my whole sound design journey in the first place. And you'll find that with the bases, with the playgrounds, with the sequences, with the templates and all that stuff. And so I hope that this encourages you to dive a little bit deeper and start finding sonics that you've never explored before. With that being said, that was some really technical marketing ploy that I just deployed on you. So apologies, but that is, honesty within how I like to design things, as you can tell. And I've put a lot of work into this stuff. So yeah, Ecclesia is available for $30. If you want to purchase a bundle, then there is Requiem 1 through 3 with Ecclesia included for $120 on Alckemy.com. There's no obligation, and even just taking inspiration from this as a tutorial is totally fine. But at the very least, if you enjoyed this, I would really appreciate if you could like the video, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think about this package that I've created. And if you have any ideas or questions or comments or suggestions, I would also love to know. So thank you all. I really appreciate your time, and go grab the pack if you are interested and let me know what you think about it. I'll see you on the next one.